So, on January the 16th, 2018, I received this letter from YouTube creators, Jeff Beckford. Today we are announcing changes to the YouTube Partner Program, YPP. While our goal remains to keep the YPP open to as many channels as possible, we recognize we need more safeguards in place to protect creator revenue across the YouTube ecosystem. Under the new eligibility requirements announced today, your YouTube Sorry, I got distracted there for a second. Under the new eligibility requirements announced today, your YouTube channel, Jeff Beckford, is no longer eligible for monetization because it doesn't meet the new threshold of 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. As a result, your channel will lose access to all monetization tools and features associated with the YouTube Partner Program on February 20th, 2018, unless you surpass this threshold in the next 30 days. Accordingly, this email serves as 30 days notice that your YouTube Partner Program terms are terminated. One of YouTube's core values is to provide anyone the opportunity to earn money from a thriving channel. Creators who haven't yet reached this new threshold can continue to benefit from our Creator Academy, our Help Center, and all the resources on the creator site to grow their channels. Once your channel reaches the new threshold, it will be reviewed to make sure it adheres to our policies and guidelines, and if so, monetization will be re-enabled. And then after clicking on the Learn More tabs, I got some more information. Additional changes to the YouTube Partner Program to better protect creators. 2017 marked a tough year for many of you, with several issues affecting our community and the revenue earned from advertising through the YouTube Partner Program. Despite those issues, more creators than ever are earning a living on YouTube, with the number of channels making over 6 figures up over 40% year over year. In 2018, a major focus for everyone at YouTube is protecting our creator ecosystem and ensuring your revenue is more stable. As Susan mentioned in December, we're making changes to address the issues that affected our community in 2017 so we can prevent bad actors from harming the inspiring and original creators around the world who make their living on YouTube. A big part of that effort will be strengthening our requirements for monetization so spammers, impersonators, and other bad actors can't hurt our ecosystem or take advantage of you, while continuing to reward those who make our platform great. Back in April of 2017, we set a YPP eligibility requirement of 10,000 lifetime views. While that threshold provided more information to determine whether a channel followed our community guidelines and policies, it's been clear over the past few months that we need a higher standard. Starting today, we're changing the eligibility requirement for monetization to 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. We've arrived at these new thresholds after thorough analysis and conversations with creators like you. They will allow us to significantly improve our ability to identify creators who contribute positively to the community and help drive more ad revenue to them and away from bad actors. These higher standards will also help us prevent potentially inappropriate videos from monetizing, which can hurt revenue for everyone. On February 20th, 2018, we'll also implement this threshold across existing channels on the platform to allow for a 30-day grace period. On that date, channels with fewer than 1,000 subs or 4,000 watch hours will no longer be able to earn money on YouTube. When they reach 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours, they will be automatically reevaluated under strict criteria to ensure they comply with our policies. New channels will need to apply, and their application will be evaluated when they hit these milestones. Though these changes will affect a significant number of channels, 99% of those affected were making less than $100 per year in the last year, with 90% earning less than $2.50 in the last month. Any of the channels who no longer meet this threshold will be paid what they've already earned based on our AdSense policies. After thoughtful consideration, we believe that these are necessary compromises to protect our community. Of course, size alone is not enough to determine whether a channel is suitable for monetization, so we'll continue to use signals like community strikes, spam, and other abuse flags to ensure we're protecting our community from bad actors. As we continue to protect our platform from abuse, we want to remind all of you to follow YouTube's community guidelines, monetization basics and policies, terms of service, and Google AdSense program policies, as violating any of these may lead to removal from the YouTube Partner Program. While this change will tackle the potential abuse of a large but desperate group of smaller channels, we also know that the bad action of a single large channel can also have an impact on the community and how advertisers view YouTube. We'll be working to schedule conversations with our creators in the months ahead so we can hear your thoughts and ideas on what more we can do to tackle that challenge. One of YouTube's core values is to provide anyone the opportunity to earn money from a thriving channel, and while our policies will evolve over time, our commitment to that value remains. Those of you who want more details around this change or haven't yet reached this new 4,000 hour, 1,000 subscriber threshold can continue to benefit from our Creator Academy, our Help Center, and all the resources on the Creator site to grow your channels. Even though 2017 was a challenging year, thanks to creators like you, it was full of the moments that make YouTube such a special place. Creators large and small, established and emerging, transformed their talent and originality into videos that captivated over 1 billion people around the world. They made us laugh, taught us about our world, and warmed our hearts. We're confident that steps we're taking today will help protect and grow our inspiring community well into the future. Neil Mohan, Chief Product Officer, and Robert Kinsel, Chief Business Officer. Okay, you know what this reminds me of? Excuse me, sorry, I'm still getting over illness. But you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of my days back in grade school. You know, in elementary school, grade 3 or 4, or grade 5 or whatever, before going to college or university. It reminds me of those days when there might be, say, 3 or 4 troublemakers in the class that were acting up, getting on the teacher's nerves. And because of those 3 or 4 troublemakers, that teacher, for whatever reason, might have been in a bad mood that day. She decided to call a class detention. So just because 3 or 4 kids were acting badly, the whole class of 25 or 30 has to stay after school for a 30-minute detention. Like, to me, that's not fair. Punishing the masses for the actions of a few, that's like if you have an impaired driver who's intoxicated on alcohol and drugs, who goes driving down the wrong side of the highway and hits a car and kills 4 people. That's absolutely disgusting, and it sickens me, and it should sicken everyone with a heart. I don't condone impaired driving. I even have a video on my channel called Impaired Drivers Are Scumbags. But it would be like having an incident like that where a bad driver kills 4 people, and because of that one incident, insurance companies just decide to turn around and say, okay, because of that incident, we're going to double everybody's insurance rates because of that bad actor. So there's a small percentage of people on YouTube that are bad actors, and the masses get punished for it. Like, I had nowhere near, you can see here that I have 209 subscribers, 17,858 lifetime views, and I have 298 videos. I'm nowhere near, not even close to having 4,000 hours of view time on my channel within the last 12 months. And I don't have any statistics on this, but I'm guessing that probably more than half of YouTube channels out there, maybe even a lot more than half of YouTube channels out there do not have 4,000 hours of viewership on their channel within the past 12 months. I don't know, YouTube just keeps raising the bar. They have a few bad actors and they decide to punish people en masse. Like, I remember at Apocalypse last year, April, because of PewDiePie, or the incident that they blamed for this, one of the incidents they blamed for this, I mean, we shouldn't use PewDiePie or any other individuals as scapegoats, but one of the incidents they blamed was how PewDiePie had some people in another country who I believe might not have even understood a word of English hold up some signs with some very derogatory things on them. One of those signs was praising Hitler, and another one of those signs was saying something very derogatory about Jewish people. Yes, that was sick and disgusting, but why punish the entire community for that, for the actions of one or a few people? And I guess the latest incident to precipitate this latest crack, so at that time, they decided to raise the threshold and make it that in order to monetize your channel, you have to have at least 10,000 lifetime views on your channel. Now I've gone above 10,000 lifetime views. But even that, to smaller YouTubers, even that 10,000 lifetime viewer threshold seems like a lifetime away for some of them. So jump ahead to now, January 2018. And I know one of the big incidents that's taken place on YouTube was Logan Paul going to, I think, a forest in Japan that's been called the suicide forest because of the number of suicides that take place in there. And I haven't watched the video, but I've heard bits and pieces, and from what I've heard, he was walking through the suicide forest and he came across a dead body, and he was making jokes and laughing about it, making light of it. Now, that's what I've heard. If someone can correct me in my comments section, feel free to do so, but that's what I've heard. So I'm assuming this is the incident that they're probably going to use as an excuse for setting this new threshold of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours in the last 12 months. It's just not fair to punish an entire mass of people over the actions of a few. I have 298 videos on my channel. Out of those 298 videos, almost all of them are monetized. Out of those 298 videos, only 21 of those videos have been demonetized by YouTube for various reasons. Some reasons that I don't agree with, and some that I'm kind of confused about, but other times that they demonetize those videos, fine, I can understand that, okay, what I did was against their policy. So, with 21 videos demonetized, that means 277 of my videos are monetized. So, that means, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not a bad actor. I've never had anyone hold up any signs praising murderers or terrorists. I've never had anyone holding up signs calling for the death of a group of people. I've never, I'm not a gamer, but even if I was a gamer and a live streamer, I would never drop any racist slurs during my live streams. And I've never made light of suicide or death. Why am I being punished for this? And the majority of people in the YouTube community are also the same way. The majority of people in the YouTube community are making videos to entertain people, to inform people, to speak their mind to people. And the majority of those people offer quality content. I know myself, I'm not a very tech-savvy person at all. And you can tell by watching my videos that I don't have any fancy editing in my videos or anything like that. But my videos, I make them to inform people about different things. I just made a video about having pneumonia and telling people the symptoms and the treatments for pneumonia. I've made videos about various areas, like telling people, like consumer tips, such as how to deal with debt collectors and about statute of limitations when it comes to dealing with debts. I've made informative videos, I've made entertaining videos, I've made expressive videos where I'm expressing my viewpoints on certain things. I've made some travel videos, some scenic videos, like when I've traveled across Canada and I've seen something, spotted something that I found intriguing or found beautiful, I'd make a video about that. I'm not here making videos to insult or harm anyone. And that goes for the majority of the YouTube community. I just don't think it's fair how heavy-handed YouTube is being. It's like YouTube is favoring large creators that are already making a living off YouTube. And even some of those large creators were have been heavily impacted by Apocalypse. I remember hearing this one YouTube creator, Mr. Repsion, commenting how his earnings went down by approximately 90% during April of 2017 or thereabouts because of apocalypse. Many other YouTubers who've been making their living on YouTube suffered quite a bit because of that. How would you like it if you went into work one day, like let's say you were making $20 an hour at work, and then you go into work the next day and they tell you, oh, because of some bad publicity that our company has received through no fault of your own, your wages are now going to be cut to $2 an hour till further notice. Do you think that's fair? I certainly don't think it's fair. Like, I wonder, okay, let's say we do meet that threshold. Let's say I make it to that threshold of 4,000 viewing hours within a 12-month period and 10,000 subs. If YouTube has their next apocalypse, what are they going to do? Raise it to 10,000 hours and 5,000 subs? Are they just going to keep raising the bar higher and higher, trying to make it unattainable for more and more people? It almost seems like YouTube is trying to discourage smaller YouTubers from starting their channels. Personally, I have my YouTube channel because I like expressing my point of view. I like informing people. I like entertaining people. And I like sharing things with people that I find intriguing or entertaining. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't mind if somewhere down the road, I know it might be a few years down the road, but I wouldn't mind if somewhere down the road my YouTube channel becomes successful enough that I can do this as a full-time career. I'd be lying if I said that I didn't care about money at all. Money is not the only reason why I have a YouTube channel. However, I wouldn't mind being able to make it a full-time career somewhere down the road, however far that may be. And they're talking about how they've received feedback from how they've made these changes after receiving feedback from creators like myself. I did not offer them any such feedback, telling them to raise the bar and make it even more attainable for smaller YouTubers to make money on YouTube. And I would guess that the majority of YouTubers didn't say that to them. That would be my guessing. My opinion is that this is just heavy-handed. This is no different than the corporate world being aligned in such a way that the rich become richer and the poor and the middle class end up suffering more. I just see this as being a wrong-headed, heavy-handed approach. What I'm thinking YouTube should maybe do, they could maybe come up with a system. I'm thinking YouTube could come up with a system. It could be like a red light, green light, yellow light system, where green light on your videos, like each video, because they do have sensors, they do have monitors that are able to read your videos and read your descriptions and all that can analyze your videos and tell their monitors whether or not your video meets monetization standards. I'm thinking that they could have a system where green light, if your video gets a green light, that means that it's family friendly, that any advertiser can go on that video. If your video gets a yellow light, then it could be rated as mature, meaning that, okay, some advertisers might not want to go on there, but does that mean that no advertisers want to go on a mature video? I'm sure there's some advertisers that wouldn't mind advertising on a more mature video with more mature content. People that are talking about controversial issues. People that might drop the odd swear word in their video. People that are even telling people about the evening news. Like, I have some videos where I've where I've talked about current news issues and given my opinion on them, and those videos got demonetized. Well, tell me something. If you watch the 6 o'clock or 11 o'clock news on TV, or if you're watching CNN or Fox News, or here in Canada, if you're watching CBC News World or CP24 or CTV Newsnet, or over in Britain, if you're watching BBC, even though they're talking about some news, some news issues that might be very controversial and very hard to watch. They're talking about things like war and terrorism and crime, and things that are very hard for sensitive viewers to view. How do you think those news programs would survive if they didn't have advertisers to sponsor them? That's right, they wouldn't survive. So they do have people that don't mind advertising their products and services during those news programs. Or if you're watching like a movie on TV, a restricted movie on TV with violence and sex and coarse language, they manage to have people sponsor them. So I don't see why YouTube should be any different. Like, I don't see why there aren't some advertisers that aren't willing. I would bet that there probably are advertisers that are willing to sponsor YouTube videos with more mature content in them. So maybe have a yellow light for videos with more mature content, and then maybe continue to use the red light for videos with absolutely repulsive content. People that are expressing racist views. People that are committing illicit acts on video. People that are just making offensive videos, denouncing religion and all that. But at the same time, I would hope that the YouTube filters are set in such a way that they can differentiate between someone who's being blatantly racist and expressing racist or xenophobic views and someone who is talking about racism and condemning xenophobic views, who might be covering a current affairs issue or cover a current news story about racism, about religion, about terrorism, about bullying, or some other controversial issue. Or, for example, when it comes to crime being committed on video. Apparently those YouTube filters are able to read descriptions, and they might even be able to read comment sections. So they should be able to differentiate between someone committing a crime and recording it just for the thrill of it, and someone who records a crime being committed or witnesses a crime being committed and decides to upload it to YouTube to try to catch the perpetrators of that crime or those crimes, to help assist the police in catching those people, to try and solve that crime. Hopefully YouTube's filters are able to differentiate. I just think it shouldn't be so black and white that, oh, either this video is advertiser friendly to all our sponsors, or this video is not ad friendly for anyone, so it just gets demonetized altogether. I've heard of some videos. I know of this one YouTuber, I'm not going to name her, but she does a lot of live streams. And one time, her entire live stream got demonetized just because she said a swear word. She said one swear word. She said the S word. For all I know, it might have just slipped out by accident. And her entire live stream got demonetized because of that. YouTube should not be so black and white. Myself, I've only been making YouTube videos for about a year now, with the exception of one video that I made back in 2013. But I've been watching these YouTube videos for several years now. I remember when YouTube first came out, people could swear, people could express political opinions, they could express religious opinions, they could express almost any opinion they wanted. So long as it fell under freedom of speech, they could have their videos monetized. YouTube used to be an outlet for people to express themselves, uncensored. You know, in Canada, we have the Charter of Rights. One of those charter rights is freedom of speech. In the US, your First Amendment right is freedom of speech. I think YouTube should observe our right to free speech and allow us to express ourselves as long as we're not being deliberately offensive towards people, and as long as we're not encouraging crime or committing crime for the sake of viewership or to try and profit from it. Well, I'm going to be, if you go into your YouTube channel, if you scroll through, you can find a section on titled feedback. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going into that feedback section of my YouTube channel. I am going to be expressing how I feel about YouTube's new monetization policies. And I encourage everyone who agrees with me, who's against these new monetization policies, to also express to YouTube how they feel about these new monetization policies. Maybe, just maybe, if enough people express opposition to it, maybe there's a small possibility that YouTube might decide to listen to us and might decide to cancel those new monetization policies and keep the existing ones, which I think are quite reasonable. Or they might decide to come to a compromise and make something that's not quite as harsh. I don't know, in my opinion, YouTube is they're taking some of the fun out of YouTube. YouTube likes to talk about bad actors. Well, it's my opinion that YouTube are being bad actors with this whole monetization policy. I mean, if it hasn't occurred yet, it's just a matter of time before some other platform comes along to compete with YouTube and might even become bigger and better than YouTube. I think YouTube needs to get back to their grassroots and realize the meaning of their platform. It's supposed to encourage creativity and expression. In my opinion, this is doing the opposite. So hopefully everyone joins me in expressing our concern and our disagreement to YouTube's new monetization policies. Let's see if we can get them to change their mind. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I'd appreciate if you could please share this video with as many people possible. And let's make our voices heard at YouTube. Thank you for hearing my voice.